The sunlight spilled across the polished marble floors of the Whitmore estate, but inside its grand walls, something deeper than wealth was quietly at work. Nathaniel Whitmore, a self-made millionaire known for his cold efficiency in business, had always believed that success was measured in numbers, contracts, and deals signed in glass towers. Yet one unplanned decision to return home early on a weekday afternoon would unravel that belief in ways he never imagined. For when he stepped into the house, silent and unannounced, he froze in the doorway of his daughter's bedroom, staring at the sight of the maid, clothed in her simple uniform, sitting cross-legged on the carpet with his twin daughters kneeling beside her, all three of them with their hands clasped, eyes closed, and lips moving in soft unison. It wasn't just prayer, it was something pure, something deeply human, something he had long forgotten. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of love to change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps spread stories that remind us all of what truly matters. Nathaniel had built his empire from nothing, clawing his way out of poverty after losing his parents at a young age. He had promised himself then that his own children would never suffer as he did. But somewhere along the way, in his hunger to provide them with every material comfort, he had drifted far from the emotional core of fatherhood. He was absent more than present, a man who believed that a mansion and private tutors could replace bedtime stories and gentle words. His twin daughters, Harper and Isla, had grown up surrounded by luxury, yet with an aching void where their mother's love should have been, lost to illness when they were just toddlers. Nathaniel thought he was compensating for that loss with wealth. What he failed to see was that his little girls needed something money could never buy. The maid, Clara Beaumont, had been hired 6 months earlier. She was young but carried herself with the poise of someone who had seen both hardship and grace. On her first day, she noticed how quiet the girls were, how their laughter seemed muffled like birds trapped in a cage too gilded to fly free. She never imposed, never crossed her role, but she saw the loneliness in their eyes. Clara began to introduce simple moments into their days, teaching them songs her grandmother had sung, showing them how to water the flowers in the garden, and eventually, sharing moments of prayer and reflection. She never expected their father to notice, much less care. But now, as Nathaniel stood watching, something stirred inside him. Harper's tiny lips whispered words of gratitude, thanking the heavens not for toys or dresses but for the love of those who cared for her. Isla, her voice softer but steady, prayed for her father, asking for his safety and hoping he would smile more often. And Clara, with her hands folded gently, whispered not for herself but for the 2 children beside her, that they might grow to be kind, strong, and brave. The sight broke something open in Nathaniel's chest, a crack in the armor he had built over decades of success. For weeks, Nathaniel had felt the pressure of a looming merger, one that could define the rest of his career. His rivals saw him as ruthless, his employees saw him as distant. Even at home, he was a shadow passing through, leaving before dawn and returning long after the twins were asleep. He told himself it was necessary, that he was doing it all for them. But as he watched his daughters kneeling on the carpet, leaning gently against Clara, he realized they had found the love and guidance he should have been giving them. And he had nearly missed it. Later that evening, Nathaniel lingered in his office, staring out the vast windows that overlooked the city skyline. He remembered the way Harper's small hand had rested trustingly on Clara's arm, how Isla's soft voice had trembled with sincerity. He realized he couldn't buy those moments back, no matter how much money he earned. For the first time in years, Nathaniel asked himself what legacy he was truly leaving his daughters. Was it enough for them to inherit wealth, or did they deserve a father who knelt beside them on the carpet, folded his hands, and showed them what love and humility looked like? The days that followed began to change. At first awkwardly, Nathaniel started coming home earlier. He joined Clara and the twins during their little evening rituals. Sometimes he simply sat and listened, his heart heavy with guilt but slowly lightening with each smile from his girls. Harper would giggle when he fumbled over the words, Isla would correct him gently, and Clara, always respectful, gave space for him to learn without judgment. Slowly, Nathaniel discovered the profound truth he had forgotten. Children don't remember the contracts their parents signed, they remember the warmth of their presence, the strength of their arms, the sound of their laughter. One Sunday afternoon, the 4 of them sat under the shade of the old oak tree in the backyard. The twins held storybooks, Clara shared tales from her childhood, and Nathaniel listened, truly listened, as his daughters recounted their favorite parts of the day. He realized then that wealth had blinded him. His greatest fortune was not in bank accounts or boardrooms, it was sitting right in front of him, two little girls with bright eyes and unshakable trust. And he owed a quiet debt to the maid who had reminded him of that truth. But the story did not end with Nathaniel alone. Clara's role grew quietly significant. She became more than an employee, she became a presence of steady compassion, someone who filled the silence with laughter and the void with gentle strength. Nathaniel respected her not just for the care she gave his daughters but for the courage she had to guide them with values that wealth could not buy. Her humility became a mirror in which he saw his own shortcomings, and her faith became a bridge between him and the daughters he had nearly lost to neglect. By the time winter came, the Whitmore house had changed. There was warmth where once there had been silence. Harper and Isla laughed more freely, their little footsteps echoing like music across the halls. Nathaniel found himself kneeling beside their beds at night, whispering prayers of his own, not out of duty but out of genuine gratitude. And Clara, always quiet, always faithful, would smile and slip into the background, content to know that she had helped heal something broken. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need hope, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your engagement helps bring more stories of compassion and transformation to the world.